Tyler Waldrop with the Tulsa World here after Oklahoma State's 38-35 loss at BYU late Friday night, early Saturday morning, depending on where you watch this game at. I know the offense was the big story. New quarterback Garrett Rangel comes out before he's hurt, but real quick, I just want to get this out of the way for the defense. Obviously, disappointing to see the Cowboys unable to stop BYU at the end of that game. However, with safeties Dylan Smith and Trey Rucker out for this one, late scratches, I thought Oklahoma State, especially on the back end, played pretty well from a defensive standpoint. 3 interceptions, 3. It's tough to watch the way the defense played and not imagine what it would have been like to have even one of Colin Oliver, Nick Martin, or Trey Rucker out there. But the show goes on, and those guys are out for now, and maybe some of those guys will come back later this season. But I thought the pass defense played really well for Oklahoma State for the most part. Obviously not perfect, especially there at the end to give up that score. The run defense still struggled at times, and BYU at one point just said, "Hey, we can't throw the ball. We'll run the ball," and that kept the Cougars in the game and allowed them to ultimately win this one. But ultimately, I think with how many injuries Oklahoma State had, I thought the way the defense played was encouraging. Although, at this point, this many losses, it probably is frustrating for fans to think about encouraging when they think about this defense. Obviously the offense was the big story. Garrett Rangel comes out. He gets the start, his first start this season. I thought he played excellent. I thought, obviously could have played better at times, but I thought he gave Oklahoma State exactly what this offense needs. This offense was always going to be its best when the Cowboys were able to run the ball, and they haven't been able to run the ball. They needed a quarterback that added a mobile dimension. I have a feeling Oklahoma State was always going to have a decent night running the ball against BYU, but I think it's obvious that Rangel opened things up. We'll see when he comes back. Gundy said he expects it to be out for a while. I saw Rangel on the sidelines with a sling on, or what looked like a sling in the second half. Tough to see him go down that way. Alan Bowman comes off the bench, and for the most part, it feels like he runs a mix of the offense they were running with Rangel, and also runs for lack of a better term, the same old stuff he was running before. Gundy sort of pushed back on that when I asked him about that in the press conference after. Gundy said, they really did tweak things to Allen in the second half. Although he admitted when I pressed him on it, maybe they, ran some of the plays they've always wanted to run with Bowman in, but maybe they leaned more on the running plays that they've always had kind of in their back pocket. Maybe they ran those more against BYU with how the game was going. I thought Bowman, again, they're, you can sort of nitpick, and there were mistakes made. And then there were, he also made great plays. Ultimately, he gives Oklahoma State, what I wrote in my story was, I think I called it the drive that wouldn't die. A 17-play, almost 8.5-minute drive at the end of the game to give Oklahoma State the lead. I think going forward, the interesting thing will be, does Oklahoma State switch up the offense and maybe lean more on quarterback runs, even if it is Allen starting? And Gundy said Allen will start until Rangel's healthy. I think Oklahoma State has to find some way to keep those quarterback runs in, whether that's with Bowman or another guy. I don't think you can go back to what you were running before. Not with the way the offense looked on Friday night. Honestly, such a crazy game. I think, this video could go on for another hour just breaking down. Brennan Presley threw a touchdown pass. We get to see some guys on both sides of the ball that haven't played this season. But I think for now, those are the most interesting questions I have is, just how's this defense going to look? Can it improve off of this one? And will the offense go back to business as usual now that Bowman's the guy, or can you sort of split the difference? And we'll see next week at Baylor.